Welcome to southwest France, a predominantly rural region famous for producing some of the best wines and agricultural produce in the country. In this episode, I'll continue my journey where I left off, in the vineyards of the left bank of Bordeaux. A tour through beautiful wine country that crosses the Garonne River to historic Saint-Emilion on the right bank of the Dordogne. I'll follow the river upstream through historic farm towns and end at the medieval citadels of the Dordogne Valley. So join us in southwestern France. I'm David Celdran, and this is Executive Class. If there's anything as memorable as the wines of Bordeaux, it's the region's stately mansions known locally as chateaux. Most bottles from Bordeaux have a picture of a chateau on the label. Local producers aren't just proud of their history, they also understand the marketing value of an image of their property. One of the highlights of a wine tour of Bordeaux is visiting the various chateaux. Mostly these are architectural and historical landmarks. These are grand mansions and castles and palaces. But here at Chateau Clark, they do things quite differently and at so many different levels. They don't even have a chateau. Chateau Clark in southern Medoc was named after an Irishman, Toby Clark, who bought the estate in 1771. The wines were well regarded at first, but after falling into bad times under new owners with poor business sense and devastation brought by the World War, the vineyards deteriorated, the chateau fell into ruin, and to raise funds, the previous owners sold the stones even. In 1973, Baron Edmond de Rothschild bought the property. If the name Rothschild, or as some say Rothschild, sounds familiar, that's because the Baron belongs to the same family behind legendary Bordeaux first growths Chateau Mouton and Chateau Lafite. This looks like a golf course.
It could be.
No.
So where was the castle?
On the top of the little hill.
That's it?
That's it.
Yeah.
That where the statue
It
is.
was-
So stone by stone, he was
Yeah,
selling
it
it to raise
yeah.
money. And of course, you turned it into a gold mine after he sold it.
Yeah.
But right now, this is fantastic, right? The reputation of Chateau Clark.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the reputation of Chateau Clark before? Was it?
There was not reputation because they didn't produce wine in bottle.
In those days, they just
Yes. The property was dying slowly, and so Baron Edmond de Rothschild was really the man we recreate Chateau Clark. It was not a real life before.
The estate was in such a mess, Baron Edmond had to build it from scratch, stone by stone, and a shock to most, vine by vine.
He decided to remove all the vineyard in 5 years. He replanted 85 hectares in 5 years. So it was very, very crazy for people around. But he decided to restart something, but really restart something.
And what was his vision? Was it to follow the
He want-
tradition in Medoc, or was it to create something original, new?
No, he wanted to create something great. And he saw here a very big potential terroir, and he was right. And he wanted to create his own project, but not. We are not nowhere. We are very. He smells the potential. He saw the potential.
Baron Edmond was a maverick willing to take a big risk. Apart from replanting the Cabernet and Merlot vines, both he and his son, current owner, Benjamin de Rothschild, hired the best enologists, renovated the vat room, and introduced artisanal winemaking techniques.
one of the biggest vineyards in the Medoc, Chateau Clark. Chateau Clark is a vineyard around 140 hectares.
Wow. Okay.
But we try to walk into this vineyard like we were only in
One small plot.
plot. Yes.
Which means the kind of attention you put to every
Yes.
vine.
That's a hard work to be in each parcel one time per week to be sure you are at the good time to follow, to grow with a good way. So on the soil, the plant, grapes, when you have grapes for the ripeness, you have to spend your time to follow.
I like that. You have one of the largest vineyards
Yes.
in the Medoc, but you treat this large estate as a small single plot.
Yes.
The same values of patience, independence, and innovation are applied to the company's other properties in France and its new acquisitions and partnerships overseas. It's a pursuit of excellence from vine to bottle that can be tasted in every sip. You can enjoy as many wine tastings and chateau tours as you want in Bordeaux, but for those with only a passing interest in winemaking, well, there's not much else to do. Except perhaps in Saint-Emilion, the historic wine-producing commune on the right bank of the River Dordogne. The appellation is famous for Grand Cru wines from estates like Chateau Figeac, Chateau Pavie, and Chateau Angelou. But even if you skip the wineries altogether, a trip to this picturesque landscape is worth a full day, even two. The Libournais, where the wine regions of Saint-Emilion and Pomerol are found, is the most historic in France, originating as far back as Gallo-Roman times. For this, the entire vineyard zone, both the monuments and vines, are listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In the Middle Ages, the period of Saint-Emilion's rise, the town was the center of the wine trade and the wealth used to build this magnificent medieval hilltop citadel. The Saint-Emilion wines on sale are priceless, but so are the views of the terracotta rooftops, the city walls, and surrounding vineyards. But come on, wine lover or not, no visit to Saint-Emilion is complete without a tour of a traditional winery. You'll need to book one in advance, but some estates will accommodate walk-ins. The name Chateau Bernateau may not ring a bell, in the same way Chateau Angelou would, but serious wine enthusiasts have been coming here quietly to learn about their organic winemaking philosophy. The almost 3 centuries old family-run Chateau Bernateau is pioneering organic wine production in Saint-Emilion, which, when you think about it, is really just about reviving ancient vine growing and winemaking techniques. At Bernateau, organic production methods extend to their state-of-the-art winery, where gravity, instead of mechanical pumps, is used to extract the flavors, colors, and tannins of the grape in a way that's more natural and environment-friendly. Overnight stays in Saint-Emilion are recommended in order to get the full experience, but even a half-day will do it, with short visits to estates to learn more about the region's unique landscape and history. Up next, I'll follow the Dordogne River from Saint-Emilion to where the best food in France is grown, the famous market towns of the Dordogne Valley, when executive class returns.